Hey guys, Dev Horn here at WeBuyHouses.com. It's time for Cash Offer Masterclass, episode number 6. Today is my birthday, and I just wanted to show you guys I'm enjoying these apple fritter cookies from Jake's Bakes here in Fort Worth. Absolutely amazing. If you have like an event or something coming up, you should definitely check out Jake's Bakes. So here's our victim today. It's from Blue Bonnet Properties. I love Blue Bonnet. They send us some great deals, and and give us the pictures and everything, just like what we like to see as a cash buyer. And if you're a wholesaler, you should look at what Blue Bonnets and Fazio, what these guys are doing to give us as the cash buyer a great amount of information so that we can make some decisions. And so as we look at this thing, it's a house in Garland, Texas. Let's go look at it real quick. Garland is up here northeast. What is that? Northeast side of the Dallas area, and there we go. It's not that great to look that close. There you see, it's up there. And so if we look at it on Zillow, we're seeing 241 as their estimate. Thought this was weird. Both Zillow and my Property Radar app showed unknown bedrooms for some reason. But all the other information was consistent. But again, Zillow had it at 241. And we basically look at the Zestimate as the ARV. Zillow doesn't know anything about this house, doesn't know the condition of it. They just know the comps for the area. And so that's going to be around the ARV. When I looked at Property Radar, which I can't show because it has personally identifiable information, Property Radar had it at 264. And so 10% more than Zillow, and but significantly lower than the ARV that the wholesaler is talking about here at 300K plus. Looks good, doesn't it? Nope, probably not. So again, I can't show you Property Radar, but I'm going to go with the 264 in the Property Radar valuation tool. I think their metrics are very good and very accurate, and so a little bit more than the Zillow estimate, but not quite what the wholesaler was saying ARV might be. So let's look at this thing. Now, basically, every time we analyze a property, what are we doing? We got the address, we got the square feet, we got the ARV, we got the dollar per square foot, which is basically ARV divided by square feet is the dollar per square foot. We're looking at 206 in the Dallas area with a house like this built in 1962. Over 200 a square foot. I mean, we're starting to get a little rich on these houses. I think it's a decent house, but it's very typical for the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And wait, we got to zero out. Got to zero out. This is from last time. Whoops, zero. Hang on, y'all. I got a bunch of zeros. Okay, 0, 0, 0. All right, got our tool ready to go. 264 is our ARV. If we just applied 70% to that, it's going to be at 185. These guys are looking for 190. So I haven't even applied the estimated repairs. And so isn't it time now, guys, to jump into these photos? See what we got here. Do we have a movie? Do these guys have a movie? No movie? Too bad. That's okay. We'll make a movie out of the photos. All right. So we've got our first front view of the property. There's something. Oh, yeah. Look at that stuff going on there. So on the exterior, we're seeing exterior paint. And that siding could be destroyed. That may just be paint, but it ain't looking good. I do see what I think might be a newer window, maybe a vinyl window, but in 62 they use like aluminum windows. Roof, it's hard to tell a lot from the roof by looking at photos, but at least it seems somewhat consistent. Let's move ahead. Same view. Might get a little bit better view in on that. Crustiness. Yeah, look at that. That's just paint. That's just paint on the siding. No big deal. No big deal. We're all good. Roof. Again, the valley there. Not as consistent or straight as I'd expect. This isn't a complicated roof. These 322s basically they're an L shape. There's like one valley you have to deal with, and that's it right there. Well, all right. So moving ahead, we got the garage. Something going on down here at the base of that. I see this a lot. I've redone, like, these things will get water damage. And I had a contractor come in one time and like cut all this out and then put little molding pieces. It looked kind of cool, but it was all around kind of recovering from that. All right, we're looking there. Is this front door or back door? This might be front door. Got a doorbell. It's front door. Yep. Got a ring doorbell. It's looking at us while we're looking at it. All right, we're in the house. Oh, guys, you don't see this very much. First house I ever bought had this. It was better. It was better done than this, but it's almost like a plate or like a circle, like a album, like a old record. It's got somebody did these overlapping circle things. That's 1962 right there, my friends. 1962. That's got to go. Nobody wants that. Many of you have probably never seen that. Yep. Flooring. Yep. All got to go. Walls got to be redone. Yep. All that. There's some interesting doors there. This room is not great. The way they had to put the TV there almost in the doorway. Look at that ceiling. Look at that ceiling, you guys. Isn't that crazy? It's crazy stuff. I know it well. I hate to say, but anyway, boy, the house looks kind of orange. Hey, fella, how you doing? Probably your house. All right, your living area, I guess, flows right in. We've got this little breakfast nook here by the window. And we go into the kitchen. These countertops and cabinets are from 1962. I believe that that dishwasher is from 1962 as well. Let's go in and see if we can see. Yeah, this house hasn't been touched in all these years. That might be a crack there that they repaired. Yeah. All the houses built in the 60s, the foundations weren't that great. So they kind of cracked up a little bit. The kitchen, we do have a modern oven. We have a gas range. We have a decent refrigerator. They'll probably take that. We got lots of extra ovens. Look at that. We've got one there. I think is a microwave or a convection oven or something. Like another one here, another one here, another one here. They must really like to cook with portable microwave ovens. Okay, what is going on up there? That is really disgusting. Look at that. And I'm going to assume that is a crack of some sort. And there you get that beautiful, look at that. You really see it right there. Isn't that crazy? It's crazy. Yeah, you can't fix it either. It's like once you get a crack, you're not fixing that texture. You can't patch that. All right, moving along. All the cabinets got to go. At least the doors have to go, and painted white or gray. This all has to go. Yep. The thing when you look at a house like this, it's obvious that somebody's living here. It's not like a vacant house or abandoned house. And usually if somebody's living in the house, they have to have good electricity and good plumbing. So the fact that somebody's living in it kind of tells us that those things probably work well. There's the pantry. Man, isn't it crazy how houses just, excuse me, houses just show the wear over the years. And we get used to it. We're living in them. And then you go to sell it and you realize, oh, wow, it's kind of disgusting, Laundry room, look at that. I think that might be a freezer. No, that's probably a top loader or something. Yeah, top loader dryer, and maybe that's freezer. Again, just wow. Nobody's brought a paintbrush in this thing for decades. Decades. Yeah, the top loader. Decent appliances. Of course, those are probably theirs, and appliances don't go with the house. You guys know I love this. I love to see the equipment, and look at what they gave us here. We can actually see the manufacturing date on this. Guys, if you're a wholesaler, all the mechanical stuff, take a picture like this. As cash buyers, we want to see that. We want to see, how old is this thing? And that's not bad, as far as years go. It does look like it might have a pan down there. I'm not sure. We're out in the garage now, and typical garage, no garage door openers, but it doesn't look horrible. Yep, pretty typical garage. Man, that ceiling is just a trip. I'm telling you. Oh my gosh. And of course, yeah, we do have a little settling in the property over the last, 60 years, 63 years. This house is that old. This house is almost as old as me. I hate to say that because it is my birthday and I'm 64. This house is a year younger than me. And I got some cracks too. I'll tell you what. Man, just everything, just disgusting. Come on. Go to Home Depot. Get some paint. But that's all right. That's all right. We got the circles on the ceiling in every room. Every room seems kind of dark. I'm not exactly sure where we are at this point. I don't care. I'm kind of just basically looking at surfaces, how much has to be done. This is a full cosmetic. You want to bring this back to ARV? It's full cosmetic. All right, here's your inside HVAC stack. You get your air handler, your furnace, and your evaporator coil. I can't get in there and really see any sort of dates. I've told you guys this before, that when I replace equipment in a house, I'll take a Sharpie and I'll write, Service Air 1, 95, whatever, 2017, whatever the date is. Because what I'm trying to do is remember who worked on it and when they worked on it. And I write it on there with a Sharpie. And then I can call them back and say, hey, this thing quit working and you put it in 3 years ago. That kind of thing. You know what? This stuff, like I said, I expect everything in this house is probably working because it looks like people are living in this house. So I'm going to assume that. And again, I think I can kind of just move on through the remainder. Man, holy mother of all that is. Wow. I don't get what they're doing with this, like, tape and stuff. It really draws attention to it, doesn't it? So, look at that. It's like a growth on the ceiling. Yeah, look at that. I honestly, I've never seen that. Where people did that type of repair with tape. Bro, you're not going to tape up these cracks. You might as well just leave the crack. The tape makes it look worse. But we got some significant foundation issues here. A lot of cracks. Man, they went to town on that circle ceiling texturing. It's just crazy. Just crazy. I think there was just that window of time that was popular, and it was a very narrow window. All right, bath again. I think this is all from the 60s. Yeah, I really do. If we go oh yeah. I don't even think they did that in the 60s. I think that was somebody did that late. I don't know. I don't know what that is. But yeah, look at this. All this has to be torn out. Again, not a big deal for a cash buyer to go in there. These are not, super luxurious houses. Rather than fix some of this stuff, we're just going to go in there and just tear it out and replace it. It's cheaper. Okay. Yeah. Probably functional, but very disgusting. And we want to get rid of all that old small tile. I mean, maybe even the bathtub. Maybe you can resurface it. Yep. Old bathroom. Old bathroom. All the floorings got to go. Nice. Outside unit. Ooh, look at that. We can really get into this one. It's not bad. That's not bad at all. That's I don't know, it's not super new, but on the other hand, it's relatively clean. I think it's working. I'm guessing the HVAC is working here. They got a building in the back for storage. That's awesome. Nice to have. Alley way behind. I think the roof's in relatively good condition. I haven't seen shots that made me think it wasn't. Yeah, look at that. That's bravo to Blue Bonnet for these photos. Like, if there's a photo you can zoom into and see this kind of thing, yeah, it's so much better to be able to see that. Like, we're able to inspect it. A little bit of lift on that one right there. Look at that. Sometimes around these things, the flashing, you might have some issues, but usually not. Usually not. Not bad. We're walking down the side of the property that needs an exterior paint. And I think we are at the end of walking through. So let's go to the model. Spent a lot of time here together on this one. And let's just start clicking on some things. Remember how the model works. We're putting in a 1 if it's 100% of that, a 0.5 if it's 50% of that. That's how we use the model. So this is 100% cosmetic. I'm going to hit enter. That's 12.8. And general repairs, if I put that at 1, that gives me 20. Yeah, I think this house, general repairs covers everything. It's not electrical, plumbing, HVAC, foundation, or roof. These are the big boys right there. Everything else falls into general repairs. It's an old house. It hasn't been updated at all. Everything is old. I've got to assume it needs a lot of general repairs. I'm not going to penalize it on electrical and plumbing because I think the house is currently in use. And let's go back to the listing and just look real quick. Roof, they said 10 years. It's got at least 5 or 10 more left on it. HVAC, 5 years. Foundation slab, good condition. That one I do not believe. We saw too many cracks. If I put 1 as foundation, I'm at 10. That's pretty spicy for a house that size. I'm just going to put in 0.5. In fact, generally, I can get guys to come in at like $6,000. Yeah, we're going to go 0.6. That foundation is not good. We looked at the pictures, right? We saw the cracks. That is not going to be a solid foundation. And 1962 house, if the foundation hasn't been done, it needs to be done. You know what? I'm going to stop there. 26. That's $21 a square foot for repairs. I think that's about right for a house this size and this age. So let's go back and look now here at our offer estimate. We're thinking the house in perfect condition is worth $206 per square foot. We've identified $21 per square foot in repairs. So the formula for your cash offer is after repaired value times 70%, the discount rate, takes you to 185 minus the repairs, 26.7. Our cash offer is 158,569 for this property, and I feel very confident about that. I yeah, I really do. 26 is lower end of a rehab budget. It's not a big house at 1285 square feet, but you're not going to, a house that needs complete cosmetic, that hasn't really been touched in the last few decades, you're going to be at least 26, maybe into your low 30s on that. And so that's kind of the reality of that situation. If we kind of go back to the what's being offered to us, ARV, forget the ARV that a wholesaler tells us. It's just a number they pulled out of the air. They're never rooted in reality, but it doesn't matter because we're doing our own numbers, and they're asking for 190. Now, what does that tell me? Maybe they bought it for 160 and they're trying to sell it for 190, to make their spread. But as a cash buyer, I can't pay 190 for that property. What does that tell me? That's my entire rehab budget. So can't do this deal. Look, I think it's hard right now to find a good deal and get it at the right price. Sellers are still expecting, I think, too much for their properties in a very soft real estate market. And so as I look at this deal, look, it's easy for me to pick it apart. Spent 20 minutes here. I came to 160, 159. That's pretty far off. But on the other hand, they probably didn't get it for 160. Maybe they got it for 170 and they're trying to, 175 or 180. And they're trying to just make a little bit for finding this deal, getting it under contract and handing it to you. So I'm not picking on these guys, but as far as the deal goes, the numbers are what they are. Look, if you have any interest, if you're a qualified cash buyer, Bluebonnet Properties is a great group. Call Taylor there, 469-283-6950, and see what they have. This is not their only property. They got plenty of properties, so you might want to check it out. But always use the methodology that I'm teaching you here to get to the right cash offer. Because remember, you make your money on the purchase. If you don't purchase right, if you pay too much, if I paid $190 for this, I have no repair budget. I can't fix it. I can't bring it back to after repaired value. I've got to buy it at a significant discount and make a pretty significant investment into it to bring it back to after repaired value or full value for the property. And so that's where we are on this one today. Just wanted to say thank you. Well, I want to say thank you to Bluebonnet Properties for giving me a victim to pick on here today. We're using it for educational purposes to help you guys figure out what's a great cash offer to make on a property so that you will make money. Because if you don't make money, that's not real estate investing. It's a nightmare. You get into this property at 190, I don't think it's going to work out. Now, I just want to say as I close, thanks to Jake's Bakes for the apple fritters. If you're here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, I'm enjoying these, and I just thought I would mention that today. I love local companies, local wholesalers, local vendors, anybody I can shout out. I like to shout out other people. Maybe they'll bring some good karma my way. I hope you have some good karma today as you continue along and go into your weekend. And, it's my birthday, so this was a lot of fun to spend some time with you. And I, of course, look forward to the next one where we'll find another victim. We'll dig into the numbers and we'll figure out what's the right cash offer. Have a great day.